Hey, what's up, guys? So, I was thinking about what the best decisions I've ever made in my life were. And sadly, I didn't really have many options to choose from. I can't recall any wonderful decisions or, great choices I made in life, especially as a younger person. But I have one in particular that I wanted to share with you guys. And it is by far the best decision I've ever made in my life. And one that impacted me so much in such a beneficial way and changed my life. And ultimately, probably kept me alive to this age. I wouldn't have been otherwise. And I'll just tell you the quick story about what that was. So, this happened when I was around 19 years old. A guy I was friends with was dating a girl who had a twin sister. He tried to, hook me up with her many times and kept telling me you should go out with her, you should meet her, and things never happened. And one night we met and, we had a good time together. We hung out and we didn't see each other for probably 2 or 3 months after. But I couldn't stop thinking about the girl. I felt like there was something so special about her. So on New Year's Eve, we ended up at a club together. So it was a group of people. My friend and his girlfriend, obviously her sister was there, and I was there, and a whole other group of people. So I'm not really into the nightclub thing, bar scene and shit like that. And this was just one of those occasions where I probably would have just stayed home. I was living alone at the time, but I was convinced to go out, and I was like, fuck it, let me just go and see what it's about. So I'm there, I'm having a couple drinks, and again, I'm not really feeling it. It's before midnight, so it's still early. It's like 11:30 at night, and I wasn't into it. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm leaving, But throughout the night, I was thinking about that girl, and I was looking at her, and I talked to her a little bit. I'm not very, social. I'm much more shy. So she had a bunch of people around her, a bunch of guys trying to hit on her and shit. So I'm not really gonna interject like that. So I left, 11:30, get in my car, go home. On the way home, I'm on a highway, right? I'm probably like 5 minutes from my house. I couldn't stop thinking about that I made the wrong choice, that I should have just fucking walked right up to that chick and told her what I felt and, gotten her attention and given it a shot at least. I made a U-turn right in the middle of the street. As I'm making this U-turn, I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking now? Because, I'm about to be possibly very humiliated because I've never really put myself out there like that. But I made the U-turn. I go back. There's still a long line outside the club to get in. I pull my car right up to the valet, right in front of the door, the entrance. Bouncer's car, I'm like, nah, man, you can't park here. Get your car. I was like, listen, I'll be right back. Just going in. I'll be back in less than 90 seconds. I go in the front door. I walk right up to the bar. I see her from a distance. And again, now there's even more guys all around her trying to hit on her. So I just walked right up to her. I looked her right in the eyes, and I just put my hand out and told her, come with me. She put her hand out into mine, and we left together. She ended up being the best thing in my life, by far. I'm married to her now. She is the mother to my 3 beautiful daughters that are the world to me. And shortly after that whole thing happened, me and her started spending every day together. And shortly after, probably a couple months, was when I ended up getting jammed up with some serious legal things. I had been in trouble already as a juvenile and, incarcerated, but I caught a big charge. She stayed with me. I ended up getting much bigger charges, getting caught up in a bunch of organized crime shit, and I ended up facing life in prison. That girl stayed with me throughout that whole entire thing, against my advice. The first thing I did when I realized the predicament I was in was tell her, because I loved her so much, that you need to leave me. You need to forget about me. I'm done. My life is over. I don't want this for you. I don't want you to suffer and sacrifice your life and lose your youth in this kind of fucking misery, this type setting in fucking jails and talking to me through glass and shit. I didn't want that. I didn't want her to be subjected to that kind of misery and that kind of torment. especially because we were so young, you know. So even though I advised her that, and I was so forceful in it because I just felt like that's the right thing. I fucked up my life. She's not of my element. She doesn't come from that kind of background. She's a very clean-cut, good family, you know, opposite of me. But she still stood with me, no matter what. She stood with me when they were telling me, you know, I'm going down for 145 years. She stood with me. She stood with me for years that I was gone. And miraculously, thank God, I got out of all that shit. I got out of all that shit and she was there waiting for me. And I started a life with her. And she was there with me throughout the whole thing. There was so much difficulty, so many obstacles to overcome. But she stood by me. Every fucking step of the way, that girl stood by me. And as a result of all of that level of loyalty, there could never be anybody that I could even compare with her. She is so far above, on such a higher pedestal than anybody else could possibly be. And I would give my life for her in a second, for my wife, for my children as well. And the point of this story, the reason I wanted to share this with you guys is because it's just an example of how one fucking decision, right or wrong, could either destroy you or give you everything and change everything. It's that serious. One decision. And that was so unlike me to do that. That was so opposite of what I would normally do. Normally I would just keep going home. Say, fuck it. It's not for me. It's not my scene. These are not my kind of people. It's not my crowd. I don't fit in. I don't belong there. But I took that shot. And I forgot about everything else. Fuck ego, fuck humiliation, everything. I'm just going to take a shot. And I'm so thankful. And I'm real serious when I tell you guys that's really the only, you know, example I can come up with of a decision that without a doubt was so right. And again, I'm real happy with the way it all turned out because, you know, had I not made that decision, I'd have gone down to prison and I'd have never came out. Or I would have, you know, caught a body in the streets and it just would have went so much different because in all my craziness and all that fucking lunacy and psychotic shit that was going on in my life, she was the only thing that kept me grounded. She was the only thing. And throughout all those years that I was in those fucking cages, fighting fucking wars that you won't even imagine, she was what stopped me from killing. She was the only one. She was the only thing that gave me hope. Something that I could value more than myself. And something that I was willing to sacrifice for. And that's the only reason I came out of prison. And when I did come out, I struggled unimaginably with so many different things. She's the only reason I didn't go back. She's the only thing that kept me grounded. And again, I'm just so grateful and I'm happy to share this with you guys. I don't normally talk about personal like this, you know, that aspect of my life. But, you know, I thought it was a good story to share with you guys. And again, I just want you to realize if you're in a situation like that where you doubt yourself as to what you should do, just go with your heart. Go with your gut and fuck fear. Fuck everything else. Just go for it. No matter what it is. Because if you don't, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. And it could be an example of one of those cases like mine that is fucking life-altering in ways that you can't even imagine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short story, and I hope you take something positive from it. Thanks.